Checking. Yes, it's on. Well, hello everyone. Yes, it's me, Joanna, and I'm once again back here talking to my camera because that's what you do when you don't have any friends. No, I'm just kidding. I just had some time because I'm on Christmas break, but you know, like it's the new year now. So yeah, I'm on break. Got a little bit of time. I did upload 2 videos, I think like 2 weeks ago, or like in the past 2 weeks. So I'm trying to upload a little more frequently. So just stick with me, and hopefully in this new year I'll have a little bit more stuff for you guys to watch and to film. Yeah, we'll see. I'm trying my best. It's just really hard to get somebody to come out to the barn with me, especially now, like in the winter, because it's cold and rainy, and the only thing you can film is me riding in the indoor, which gets kind of repetitive after some time. So yeah, maybe if you guys have any ideas what I could film that would interest you guys, which I can do at my barn or while riding, or I don't know, maybe like a riding dares video. Yeah, just leave comments if you have any ideas of what I should do. Today I thought I would film a video about my goals for the year 2018. Well, Happy New Year, first of all, to all of you guys. I'm a little bit late, but better late than never. Yeah, so 2017 was a really amazing year for me. I did so much stuff, not just with not just horse related stuff, but just in general. I feel like 2017 was my year. I grew so much as a person, and I experienced so many new things. I got to see Jamie, which was amazing, in May. Was it March? I don't know, but yeah, I finally got to see Jamie again. I really hope I get to see her again soon. Klaus and I, we went to our first competitions. He won, or not won, but he placed with my trainer in one of the shows as well, which I was really proud of. So for this year, 2018, I just want to build on that, improve even more, and see what is possible. Yeah, so I'm just gonna start off with some goals that I have for Klaus and I in general, and then I'll go into the goals that I have for me as a rider, so that don't necessarily have to do with Klaus, but just improving myself. Yeah, so I have my laptop down here, so that's why I keep on looking down there. So my first goal would be to go to a lot more clinics this year. Last year I went to 2, I think, or actually no, we had one at our barn, which I took part in, which was with a dressage trainer from Turkey, I think. Yeah, I think she was from Turkey. She came to our barn, and it was such an awesome lesson, and I learned so much, and so many of the, like, it was only one lesson, but the advice she gave and things to work on, and I just noticed how much better Klaus was after that ride. So now I just always try to take some of her things into my everyday training. So that was a really cool experience. And then of course I went to the cross country clinic at a neighboring barn where I also lesson. So I hope to do that a lot more often this year, because Klaus, he was very nervous and very excited, but he was amazing. He jumped everything and it was so much fun. And I just love cross country, so I definitely want to go to a lot more clinics this year. Not just the cross country show jumping or dressage clinics, but I just also want to try some new stuff. Like, my goal with Klaus in general is to be able to do whatever I want with him. So that one day, if I just really don't feel like doing anything, I can just hop on him and, I don't know, barrel race or something. I mean, we don't have, do we have barrels? We might have barrels, but like, you get the drift of what I'm trying to say. I just want him to not be a horse that can only do one type of thing. And I mean, he does dressage, he does show jumping, and he does cross country, which is a lot for a horse. But I also from time to time work on neck reining with him, and just, I'm not a Western rider, so I don't know how a lot of the things are called, but I just love watching, like, there are a lot of Western riders on YouTube that I like to watch as well. The things they do with their horse, especially like pole work, they have a lot of cool ideas, which I try to incorporate in my everyday training with Klaus, and he really likes it. So I don't know if you guys have heard, but there's this thing called working equitation, which I'm actually really interested in. It's a mix of Western riding and dressage, but also like with trail objects, or I don't know what it's called, but you like go over bridges, you have to open gates, but you do all that while incorporating like all these dressage moves, and it just shows you how or why dressage is actually important and can be used in an everyday situation, like when working with a horse. That's why it's called working equitation. If you haven't heard of it, then maybe I'll put like a couple of clips, just show you what it is in the video now, or I'll leave a link or do something like that, because it's really interesting. You guys should check it out. And I really hope that I can find some sort of clinic where I can try that with Klaus, just for the fun of it, you know? My next goal would be to get my first real ribbon with Klaus. So I went to, I think, I rode in 3 or 4 shows last year, so not a lot. And my trainer rode him in 3, I think. And she did win a 4th place with him once, but other than that, we were always, we weren't the worst, but he's a very anxious horse, so especially in dressage, he tends to get really tense, and he does his job, but he's not as comfortable performing as some of the other horses might be. So of course we don't score as well as I think we could if we work on it, so I just want to get him out a little bit more. But jumping wise, he's actually really good, because he pretty much jumps everything you put in front of him. He doesn't scare easily. But I hope that I can win my first ribbon with Klaus this year. Doesn't have to be first place, but just a ribbon would be nice that's not in a training show. So now into the more specific goals. For example, I really want to work on our canter walk transitions. Everything else, or not everything else, but the things we do and like in our rides, he does well. So like you can always improve on everything, of course, but for the most part he does everything the way he's supposed to, except for our canter walk transitions. He just doesn't like them, and he's just still too forward in his canter. So instead of cantering more uphill and calmly, he goes slower, but it's just slower and not more uphill, if you know what I mean. So when cantering or when riding a horse, you always want them to have the same momentum going forward and want them to have the initiative to move forward, but you don't want them to just go forward, but you want them to use that energy and get their weight underneath them and go more uphill. So in the trot, we've actually improved a lot on that. He does that really well now. But in the canter, it's still really difficult for him because he doesn't have the muscles as well. But that is what I really want to work on. And I think that once we get a more calm but still active canter from him, the canter walk transitions will also be a lot easier. And then my next goal would be to get him to fully relax into the bridle. So if I compare the videos that I have from like my first rides on him and the ones now, he is such a different horse. Like his head carriage as well. He's so much more relaxed, and he's using his body correctly. But when I let the reins long, he stretches down to a certain point, but he is still too anxious or too nervous to fully relax. Like he's always on the lookout for everything that's going on around him, which I mean is okay, because for the most part he does what he's supposed to. But I just want him, or I want to be able to ride him in a way that he can fully rely on me and then relax. And then my last goal for Klaus would be to get him to bow on command. I try to do some trick training with him. I don't do a lot of it, but when I have the time, I do it from time to time. And he can bow when I take his leg and like, guide him into the bow, but I want to be able to do it on command this year. So yes, that would be my goals for Klaus. And now to the more specific goals that I have for me as a rider. When I ride, I mean every horse has its good and bad side, and every rider has his good and bad side. The problem with me and Klaus is that we both have our worse side on the right hand. So my problem is that whenever I ride on the right hand, my inside hand, so also my right hand, just tries to do too much stuff. You're supposed to ride with your inner leg and outside rein and bend them that way. But I just always tend to tense up my right hand and just like hold him in a position. Like I don't pull on his mouth or anything. But he just, like I tense up, he tenses up, and then we're both tense, which is not what we want. And then last but definitely not least, I really want to get comfortable jumping higher jumps. So for my whole like riding career, I've only ever had horses that can jump up to a certain height, which was usually around like 3 foot, maybe 3'3". And like, yeah, that was fine, and I got really comfortable jumping that height, so like it wouldn't matter to me if it was a cross rail or an ox or whatever, as long as it was like 3 foot, that'd be no problem. But now with Klaus, who loves to jump and is really good at it and can do a lot more than I let him, whenever we have a jump that's higher than 3 foot, so like the highest I've jumped right now is I think 3'7", I just like freak out and I sit on my horse and I'm just so happy that he jumps it, because I stop riding completely. I just get so nervous. I'm like, oh my god, but what if that happens? What if I get the wrong distance? And there's like all this stuff goes on in my head. And so I just really want to be able to jump higher without stressing about it. And I've been working on it. So this winter, what I always do, or like for the past couple of weeks, what I always did was put one jump into the indoor, or like 2 jumps, and have one at a comfortable height and one at a height that I'm not so comfortable, and just like keep on like going around in circles, just jumping them, so I stopped thinking about the height. So yeah, those were my goals for 2018. Hope all of you had a great start to the new year, and maybe you have goals of your own that you want to achieve. So if you do, just leave them down in the comments below. I'd love to read them. And yeah, like, comment, subscribe, the usual. And I hope to see you guys very soon. Bye!